Howdy class, this is a tutorial on how to link your house to your site plan in Revit 2024. The first thing you're going to need to do is get that site file. So somewhere on Schoology is the day that you are going to add or link the two files together. So you'll need to go to the day that had that file in it, which for mine it's right here in November 15th. And then when you click that, you can click it again and it'll go up to the downloads folder. If you're using Google, go to the downloads folder. Find that file in the downloads folder. So mine popped up on my other screen there, which it's right there now. So if I do that one more time, if I click on the folder, it's right there. I'm going to right click and cut it. And the reason I'm doing that, and I can make this folder go away now, is because I want to go to wherever my house is and then open that folder, and I want to paste that, paste is right here, or you can do Control V, but I want the site plan and the house to be in the same folder so that they're always going to be close to one another, and that's the way Revit likes to work, wants to have those close to one another. When I open this site plan, it's just going to open in Revit the way that you would expect anything to open in Revit. It's going to ask if you want to upgrade. I'm going to say yes. Once it opens, yours will probably look something like this. I'm just switching views quick so we can see what it looks like. And I am going to go to the hidden line. It probably looks like that when yours opens. And the first thing we're going to do is link our house to this site. That part's not too hard. In order to do that, under the tabs, I'm going to go up here to the Inserts tab, up at the top, click on Insert, and then I'm going to link a Revit file. So click on Link Revit File, click, and when I do that, I just need to navigate to wherever that file is. So my file is on the desktop, and when I go to the desktop, I'm going to find my Habitat for Humanity folder, double click to open it. And make sure you pick the house file, don't pick a backup file. So I'm going to pick my house and open it. And when it comes in, it's going to be right there in the middle of my map, which is perfect. I can move it around to wherever I want it. However, one of the things that's interesting is the house is not at the same elevation as this site. If we look at these elevation lines, this says 770, 769. If I go over here to elevations, click on any one of them, east, north, south, I'm going to click north. My house is actually way down here because I built my house at an elevation of 0 and the site plan is at an elevation of 700. So to move that, you just grab the house and slide it on up, taking it all the way up. And now that I have it close, I zoomed in, I'm going all the way up. Boom. Now my house should be visible on the plan. I'm going to go back to the floor plan for the site, and there it is. It looks beautiful. This is where I want my house to sit, somewhere right in this area because that's where I like to put my house. And I'm going to kind of fine-tune it here in just a second. But before I do that, I'm going to have to play with the elevations of my site a little bit. This is 770. This is 769. So there is a 1 foot drop as you go across the lot. It's actually about 2 feet because there's a 768 down here. So the lot does slope in this direction from the north down to the south. Right around the house, you want that soil to be graded so that it's level. So I'm probably going to go 770 all around my house. And then I'm still going to let the water run off in this direction. But immediately around my house, I want that to be 770. And this is the part of Revit that's changed. Because there used to be something in this massing and site called topography, and that no longer exists. Now it's Topo Solid. And a lot has changed in how you use the Topo Solid tool. As a side note, the linked file that's here right now is simply just a picture of the house. I can't really do anything to manipulate this. I can't move things around. I can't take a couch and move it from one place to another. This is just simply a snapshot of what existed when I pulled it in. If I wanted to change something with my house, I would actually have to go and close this, save it and close it, open the house, change whatever I want to change, and then I would have to relink it here and make sure everything works out the way that you want it to. One last thing about inserting a house into Revit onto the site plan. You can't have your house and the site plan open at the same time since they're linked. If you do that, you're going to confuse Revit and the link will be broken. And then you have to redo it anyhow. So don't ever have your house and the site plan open at the same time. You either work in your house or your site plan, one or the other. So since I'm going to change the topography to be 770 right around the house, when I'm fine-tuning where I want it, this is where approximately I want it. I am going to go to an elevation again. And when I do that, I find it's easier to look at this when I'm looking at it as consistent colors instead of as, well, even realistic. Instead of using the hidden line because it's too hard to see what's going on here. So I do switch it over to realistic or consistent colors. And I am just going to drop my house down into the ground a little further so that I get this front edge, the front edge real close to where the ground is. We're going to change, see how the ground is sloping as I go down the hill here. So I want my house to be down a little bit further. That's probably pretty good right there. So my foundation is underground and the house is sitting above ground. All right, back to my site. I have my house in the ground and above the ground exactly where I want it. To change the topography of this, I'm going to use this Topo Solid tool. Okay, so since this site plan was built using the old topography tools and the new tool is the Topo Solid tool, I kind of have to trick it into creating a new layer. So I'm going to go up here to Topo Solid and I'm going to click right underneath it and I'm going to say create from sketch. So I'm almost like I'm pretending like what's there doesn't exist. And when I create from sketch, I'm just going to use the square tool or the rectangle tool and I'm going to click that and then I'm going to come down on my map here. I want my setting over here to be at 768. So in other words, I'm picking the lowest number. So I'm going to put a whole square in here underneath the square that's there right now, and the whole thing is going to be at 768. That's my goal. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to start in this corner. I'm going to get real close and I'm going to click and I'm just going to put in a whole layer underneath what's there. So I'm kind of tricking it into making a new area. And this whole area I'm putting in, that's good right there. I don't need to go perfectly right to the edge. I mean, I can if I want to. I will, I suppose. Is now at 768, and I'm going to say that I'm done. So I'm done with that. If I go to look at this as 3D, which it's hard to see the colors, I can see that I have that layer right there now. It's right there, and I can click it. And when I click it then, I can do things with it. So I'm going to hit escape. I'm going to click on that layer. See that layer? It's right there. I'm going to click it. And I have some things up here now where I could edit the sketch that I just did. It's just like editing any other sketch. Or I can add some points and I can modify those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose to add some points. I am going to go back to this site plan like this. And I'm going to add some points. I can't see that that's the layer I have right now that I'm modifying. Right there, and I'm going to add some points, and the points that I want to add, I want it to be, I'm going to start at 770. See how it says 768 right now? It's because that's the number that's over there. So, I don't know where my layer went. There it is right there. Missed it. There it is. I'm going to add the point, and I'm going to change this number to 770. And hit apply. So now when I'm on my map I can just add a point at 70, say right there, and one right there, and one right over here, and I'm just going to make the area around my house be to 770. And I'm going to get way over here on the drive, because I'll probably put a driveway in there somewhere, and then I can come up, and this part of my map was already at 770, so I could follow that line along. That's not going to change anything. And if I hit modify now, which is up over here in the upper left, I get all those at 770. So the topography has now changed. If I look at the 3D and go all the way around my house, I no longer am going to see that slope from the front to back. I now have a nice steady surface all the way around my house. Lastly, if I want to put a driveway or a sidewalk or anything in at this point, that is very simple to do. The easiest way to do it, and I'm not going to make this harder than what it needs to be, just simply put in a floor. We could do things where we split the surface, and if you split the surface, you got to make a new surface with concrete, and it's just easier to put a floor in. And at the end of the day, nobody knows the difference for how that piece of concrete got there. So under architecture, I'm going to go over to floor, and I'm going to draw my initial driveway, which I want my initial driveway probably to be somewhere like down here somewhere. So I want it to go from here up onto my house, maybe here. I'm going to make sure that it's wide enough when I get a chance. I can't see the number there for how wide it is. So 17, good enough for the example here. And when I hit enter, realize what I had done, my generic floor just went in at a level of 0. So if I go to the elevation and zoom way back, there it is, way down there. I'm going to change that offset from 0, 0 to be 770 because that's how high my site is. And it should be up there now. There it is. So that's my concrete driveway. If we look at it as a 3D, right now it's right at the same level. So maybe I'm going to go 771 so that it's 1 inch above. Then my driveway's sticking one inch above the grass line. And I can park cars and stuff on it. If you want to, you can make this super fancy, and you can put the little lines in it that you would see if it was a real piece of like a driveway or something. Or I could go in here and I can edit the boundary, and I think when I'm editing the boundary, it's way down there still, which is fine. I can delete this line. I'm going to pull this back a little. Put a little curve in. Make it look, real nice, like a driveway. Perfect. I'm going to go way over here. Oops, I don't want a 3-point arc there. Pull this one back a little so that it's in line with that. This is called scrubbing, where I can find the end point of that one above it. Oh, well, let me scrub that one. Probably close enough. And now when I hit done, if I look at what it looks like on my site, I now have a little flair that I added to it just to make it look a little nicer. If I want to do a stoop or a sidewalk, same thing. Just want to make that generic floor a little bit thicker so it gets all the way up to my house. I could just do it at 770 right away. I'm going to go to my site plan like this just to put that front door step on. Not sure exactly where my door is here. Try to see if I can't see it. So this might take a little finagling, but you'll get the idea. And at this point, you probably don't need to pay too much more attention to what I'm doing. I'm going to click on floor. If you think you're ready to go, you could probably go and get started with some things. I'm gonna make a 3-point. I think my door is like somewhere right in there. Just gonna make a sidewalk. Beautiful. Beautiful. And it's going to be way underneath again. So if I look way down underground, there's my sidewalk. I was pretty close to where the door was. And you'd have to play with it to get it to line up. I would actually move it out a little bit and put it right where my, I'd put a little stoop on there. I think we actually need a ramp, according to the Project Lead the Way guidelines. But basic idea, I think you got it.